On question 72, we're given a scenario and we're asked again for which equation models the situation. Now, I'm going to preface this discussion by saying that as we looked at this, I think this is a bad question because it doesn't really, I don't think, clearly define exactly which situation we want to model, whether we're talking about 5 years ago or whether we're talking about today. But for conversation purposes, we're going to talk about what this statement that we're given means and why one of the two choices may be appropriate. So here we go. 5 years ago, Jason was 3 times the age of his sister, uh, Markeisha, I guess is how you're going to say her name. So 5 years ago, so if we go back 5 years, then Jason would have been 3 times his sister. So 5 years ago, he would have been 3 times as old as she is, and that would have been 5 years ago. Now, when we want to model the situation, we're not sure, are we modeling the situation today or are we modeling the situation 5 years ago? All right, if we were modeling it 5 years ago, then we would look at a situation where we needed to be subtracting from 5 years ago, or whether we needed to be adding 5 years to what he would have been 3 years ago. So it's kind of a bad question of sorts, but we can kind of get an idea here about what some of these things mean when we see them. Okay, so we're talking about 3M would be 3 times the age of his sister, and that's what he would 5 years ago. That's what he would have been. So you would have had to take in her age then, because that's the only one you know is her age, and you would have had to subtract 5 from that to get back to 5 years ago, and then at that time he would have been 3 times her age at that point. So we don't really know. It's hard to answer the question because we don't know which equation we're trying to model. If we're trying to model what was going on 5 years ago, or if we're trying to model what the age would be today. So it's kind of in between C and D on the answer choices. But that's kind of some of the things. If you see a question that's maybe worded a little better, those are some of the expressions that would come out of the statement that you're given.